Here we are with part 2 of diagnosing the faulty TeraDrive power supply. So this is quite an easy little test we're going to be doing. We've got the two power supplies there. Thankfully I have a known working one, so I have a baseline I can compare all my values to. And we have the faulty one, which will give us the values that we don't want. So just on this little bit of paper here, we've just got the two endings of the serial numbers. 629 is the bad one, and 1135 is the working one. So there's yellow, which is 12 volt, I believe, and red, which is 5 volts. So let's give it a test with the old multimeter. It's pretty much all we've got to do. So it's pretty simple. Thankfully, these have these are a push button switch. So as soon as you push the button, it turns it on. Unlike ATX power supplies, which look for there's sort of a momentary press switch, which is why they go click, 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 click. Whereas these ones are more of a push than just a click, 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 click. So first up, we want to switch over to voltage. This is a very nice multimeter. Switch on our little 110 converter because we are in 220, 240 volt land. And we just want to connect to a ground here. Put that in nice and easy. Fits in quite well, actually. There we go, and we'll just power it on. Now we don't want to run it for too long because it'll probably eventually catch fire, which is bad. So we'll start off with, let's say the 12 volt. So what are we getting there? We're getting 11.14. Let's write that down. 1.14. Move along to the... Oh man, my thing's stuck. Oh, there we go. 4.93. Now usually I'm sure you're allowed to have is it a 10% variance either way? It's pretty generous. 5% might be a bit better, but we're still well within that either way. So 4.92. So the 5 volt rail looks okay. The 12 volt rail though I'm not too sure about. It does seem a little low. 11.14. Well, let's have a look at what the known working one is. Now we can get this one out of the way. So if we jump over to this one. Oh, we need the power plug. So let's get our little multimeter thing in there. Start off with 5 volt this time. Wow, 5 flat, perfect. 5 flat again. What's our 12 volt give us? Oh, there we go. Maybe it's not so bad. 11.46. So it's possibly 11.46. Let's write that down. So these have no load. But we can see that the bad one is a little bit lower. Not much, but it could be enough when something actually starts to happen. So I guess the only way to really test that is to connect it into the machine and see what happens to the voltages as the machine is turned on. So I guess we can give that a go. So I'll start off with the bad power supply. Hook it in. And we'll start off with yellow on this one. Make sure that's in well. Oh, there's that noise. So the 12 volt rails dropped right down 10.65 and dropping. 5 volts around 3. Oops, wrong one. So 10.75 and 3. 3.1 we'll say. And I put in the wrong column, so I'll just switch these around. Oi! Alright. So that's one out of the way. Unplug it first. Be very careful around these things because you don't want to get zapped. Electricity, while it's great, it's not very fun to get zapped by. Which I've done a few times now. Whoop. Okay. So we'll go on. Notice the noise is immediately not present, and I'm sorry, I'm zoomed in on that. Oh, you can't see what's going on. That's a bit better. Alright, so testing black and yellow. Okay, there's a difference. With load, we're getting 12.16 on yellow. 4.97. 12.16. What did I say? 5.17. Well, that's interesting. So something's not right in it, because it's not giving us what we need. Alright, so at least now we know where the problem is. So if we go back to our little sheet here, just have a quick look at those final numbers. So there's a 2 volt droppage on the 5 volt line, and 0.7 on the 0.7.6 on the 12 volt. So the problem seems to be more on the 5 volt rail, which is good because 5 volts, you know, you can get pretty easily. Unfortunately, it seems to need 5 amps of 5 volt. So what I might do is I might go and see if I can find a 5 volt source with as many amps as I can, and splice the cable in to see if it gives the TeraDrive life. Then next step, of course, once we confirm that works, the next step will be to, well, I guess pull the power supply apart and look at the internals, work out exactly what's going on. But that's all in a future video. Stay tuned, that'll be part 3. This is part 2, signing off. Yeehaw! Yeehaw! I'm a real boy!